Narcissists are notorious for moving on from their relationships lightning fast. This is one of the most painful parts of recovering from narcissistic abuse, and I think that it can help us heal when we can understand why it is they're able to move on so quickly. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I am not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. It can be very shocking to see how quickly someone that meant so much to you can move on from your relationship as if it meant nothing to them. You may be in a process of extreme pain and grief and mourning, and it seems as if they've just completely forgotten you, discarded you, and moved on to someone else. This is extremely hurtful, and it can be very hard to process, very hard to understand, and almost impossible not to take it personally. I hope that with the explanations I can give you in this video, you can understand that this is nothing personal against you, and it is not the result of anything that you've done wrong. The shocking speed at which narcissists can move on to another relationship is part of the pathology of narcissism. It's part of what separates them from, quote, normal people. It has nothing to do with you. It's not your fault, and it's something that they are going to repeat again and again, regardless of how great of a person they find. This is part of their behavior that's a result of their thought processes and a result of the way that they interpret reality. Your true worth as a human being and the true value that you bring to the relationships in your life are nothing that a pathological narcissist is able to value. A pathological narcissist is not able to see the value in the things that are valuable in you. This is why it's so important not to measure your self-worth based on the way that a narcissist values you. Love, devotion, compassion, loyalty, the desire to give to the people that you love, empathy. These are all things that really don't mean anything to a narcissist. They don't appreciate these things and they don't care about them. All a narcissist cares about is how he or she feels in the present moment right now. And there is no human being on earth that can possibly make them feel good enough about themselves for long enough to be treated well all the time. Being abused, devalued, and or discarded by a pathological narcissist has absolutely nothing to do with how good of a person you are or how much you can bring to a relationship. And really, if you want to blame yourself for a narcissist discarding you and moving on to someone else, you can blame the fact that you have needs. You can blame the fact that you would like to be respected in your relationships. You could blame the fact that you would like to be listened to and that you would like to matter and that you would like your feelings to matter. If you're willing to accept that all of these things are faults somehow, then I guess you could blame yourself for the failure of a narcissistic relationship, because these are the reasons that a narcissist will move on. You have needs. Narcissists don't have time for somebody that has their own needs and their own opinions and their own wants and feelings and dreams and desires. So if you really want to get down on yourself for a narcissist discarding you, you can blame those things. In any narcissistic relationship, a narcissist will move on as soon as they realize that their impossible fantasies are no longer being fulfilled. And as much as it hurts to see them with someone new, those impossible fantasies are not going to be fulfilled by anybody new either. The relationship with a narcissist was never about you, and it's never going to be about the new person, and it's never going to be about the person after that. A relationship with a narcissist is always about the narcissist and only the narcissist. It is about the narcissist's needs. It is about what the narcissist can get out of the relationship. You can't blame yourself for a relationship in which you are never really a part of. Narcissists move on quickly because they can't function without supply. They can't function without external validation. They can't function without somebody in their life doting on their every need, paying attention to them, and treating them like they are the center of the universe. As soon as the new person in their life starts to want their own needs met and starts to have their own desires and their own feelings, the narcissist is going to resent that person as well. And the narcissist is going to move on quickly from that person. Another reason they move on so quickly is they don't develop any meaningful emotional connections with people. And this is a very painful reality, but it's important to understand that narcissists don't really love the people that they're with, not in any deep, meaningful kind of way. They don't form connections, and they don't feel pain when they're separated from people that they supposedly love. Sometimes they feel distress because their needs are no longer being met, and sometimes they may feel distressed if their ego is somehow damaged in the ending of the relationship. But narcissists don't miss people the way that most people do, and narcissists don't feel a loss. If they're able to replace the person that they're with somebody that better suits their needs, with somebody that is not all worn out from paying attention to them 24/7, the narcissist feels no loss. And the narcissist resents you for failing to live up to their impossible expectations. I know that watching a narcissist move on from something that meant the world to you, watching them move on as if it meant nothing to them, is indescribably painful. It's very, very hard to accept. It's very hard to process. And it's hard to understand how little the narcissist cares about this. And it's very frustrating to come to terms with the idea that the narcissist in many ways feels like you deserve that pain. And the reason they believe that is because you failed to live up to their impossible expectations. If they were to understand how much pain it causes you to see them moving on so quickly, they would feel a sense of justice over that. They would feel like that's what you deserve. And I hope I don't have to clarify that you certainly do not deserve any of that pain. But I think it's important and useful to understand that this is how the narcissist is viewing it. I think it's also important to understand that, as I said, narcissists are unable to form real connections and meaningful relationships. They're not interested in learning how to do those things. They have no interest in it. They do not see the value in connection. They do not see the value in meaningful relationships. It's a foreign concept to them. And they're too busy and they're too preoccupied, desperately trying to meet their immediate needs, desperately trying to fill this void within them, this big black emptiness that they have, with superficial attention, superficial relationships that make them feel okay for the moment. They have no interest in long-term meaningful relationships. I don't think they even understand what that means. And even if they did, it's just not something that they can practically achieve. And it's not something that you were ever going to be able to give them. They need people that can give them attention and superficial praise and make them feel important right now. And it doesn't matter who that person is. They need people in their lives right now that can make that nagging feeling go away. Narcissists always have a vicious super ego in their head that's constantly making them feel worthless, that's constantly making them feel extreme pathological shame about themselves. And they are in constant, desperate need of people that can help them shut that voice up. They don't care if it's you, they don't care if it's the new person, they don't care if it's the person after that. The people in their lives really mean next to nothing to them. And especially if you have been someone that they have been using to help them silence that voice, and now for whatever reason you're no longer providing that service for them, you really have no use to them. To a narcissist, people are interchangeable, and it doesn't matter how close you get to a narcissist, you are always replaceable. Healthy people usually take a while to move on to new relationships for two reasons. First of all, healthy people need a little bit of time to recover from what may have been a painful breakup. They need a little bit of time to recover and work on themselves and get themselves into a place where they can engage in a healthy relationship. And then the second reason is that Healthy people need to find somebody that they're actually compatible with, and that doesn't always happen right away. It can take some time to find the right person. It takes time to find someone that's a good match, that you're really going to be happy with, that you're really both going to be happy being together with. Narcissists are not this picky. Narcissists don't need time to recover from their relationships. They need new relationships immediately. That's the only way they know how to recover. And narcissists don't care if they're compatible. Narcissists will coerce anyone that they can into being the right person for them. They will shame people for not fitting their idea of the perfect person. They will get into relationships with whoever they can, and they will do everything they can to manipulate that person into being who they imagine they deserve. They don't go out looking for somebody that's already a good match. They just find anybody that they can manipulate, anybody that may be a little vulnerable, and they try to force that person into being the person that they imagine they need. This can be a very painful reality to come to terms with when you think of how your relationship with a narcissist began, because unfortunately, as every relationship in their life has been, yours was probably no different in that it really didn't mean that much to the narcissist. It's likely that your relationship, while it may have been very special to you, was really just the most convenient relationship for the narcissist at the time. As painful as this is, I think it's really important to remember and understand this so that you're not tempted to go back to a relationship that's only going to continue to exploit and hurt you. And it's important to remember that none of this is your fault. Narcissists behave this way because narcissism is a pathology. Falling victim to this type of a relationship does not say anything negative about you. It is not your fault that this happened. I believe that it's empowering to understand the ways that you can prevent this from happening in the future. I believe it's empowering to understand the mindset you may have been in that allowed this to happen, and that it's empowering to understand how strengthening your own self-esteem and recognizing your own self-worth and recognizing the ways that you deserve to be treated can help you to form and keep healthy relationships in the future and to avoid this happening ever again to you. It's important not to project your own way of feeling and thinking onto the narcissist. This type of projection can make the experience even more painful because you may imagine that the person that the narcissist has moved on with means more to the narcissist than you ever did. The narcissist does not feel and think the same way you do, and the new partner does not mean any more than you ever did. Nobody really means anything to the narcissist any more than whatever it is that person is providing them right now, right in this moment. No human being has any lasting meaning to a narcissist. And I really hope that as you come to understand this, it can help you heal from this traumatic type of relationship and help you realize that you truly deserved better and that there was nothing you did and that their failure to recognize the value of your relationship was not a failure on your part. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.